What up, saucers? We're back.
We're back.
And we are going to dive right into Am I the Asshole? Y'all love it on Reddit.
Yes.
It is very fun, funny, shocking, horrifying. And then we're going to give our 2 cents over this shit because a lot of these are just so weird. But we're blind reacting.
Yeah, we haven't read these yet.
But I'm excited to go into it. And I can read the first one. We can go back and forth.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so without further ado, am I the asshole for saying it's a little embarrassing that a girl's nanny puts little notes in her lunch? Okay.
Yeah, on the
Okay.
surface, yes.
So this girl, Nicole, 16, started going to and the writer is also 16, school after winter break. She's a little weird, TBH. She doesn't talk a lot, and when she does talk, she's so quiet that you can barely hear her. She used to eat in her car, but one of my friends felt bad for her and invited her to sit and eat with us. I noticed that all of her lunches had little piece of paper that she'd read and smiled for like 2 seconds and folded up and put in her pocket in her lunchbox. Sometimes she'd take it out and read it a couple times during lunch.
Oh my
I
God.
eventually asked what it is, and she said she has a nanny and she writes her notes every day. I asked if she thinks that's a little embarrassing because I don't know anyone who has notes in their lunches past 5th grade. She got kind of defensive. It said that her nanny does similar things for her siblings who are all in preschool and elementary school, so it kind of proved my point. She started eating in her car again, and one of my friends got mad at me because apparently she has a really bad home life before moving here, and she's never had anyone to do that stuff for her. I don't know how the fuck she expected me to know, considering she usually only talks about school, but it's starting to some drama in my friend group, so I wanted to know if I was the asshole.
Yes, you're the asshole.
Like
that breaks my heart. Oh my God.
You can tell the nanny just wants to make that person smile, and they're smiling, and it works.
I'm eating in her car.
Think you're jealous.
Yeah, maybe you have some stuff to unpack, ma'am.
Yeah, you have a little stuff to unpack, babe. I think maybe you want someone to think about you extra, and
Yeah,
I think this girl has someone thinking about them
that's so
in
sad.
an extra way.
I hate
it's
that
just
because
a
that's
note.
the cutest. It's just a note. And the fact that she said sometimes she would pull it out and read it again through lunch, like that melts my heart.
You can tell that she, and she's already quiet and not talking to people.
Yeah. Eating in her car, come on.
And has a bad home life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah,
You
no,
gotta
you're the
have
asshole.
empathy here for someone that's like going through something, but has at least one person in their corner and doesn't
Who
need
isn't even a parent.
Yeah, and that doesn't need to go into school with people that already think they're weird because they could. I don't know what the home life is like, but they could already be chastised at home and made to felt different or weird. And then they go to school for the same thing. Fuck you. But you're 16. You will learn for accountability, hopefully. I mean, what the fuck?
That's sad. Okay, this one. Am I the asshole for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair?
Oh my God.
All right. For my friends.
All right.
All right. Let me see. For my friend's 3-day wedding.
Ooh,
What?
first of all, that.
Okay. I had to
I
buy
already have opinions.
3 different dresses, including alterations and specific shoes, which totaled over $700. She also wanted specific hairstyles for each day.
I'm already on her side. I'm already on her
side. I'm gonna cut my fucking hair. Do you want me in your wedding or do you want my hair to look this way? Because that actually is offensive to me.
Yeah.
Like
Do not tell me to cut my hair. But if you want me to 3-day extravaganza and want me to wear 3 different things, fine. You pay for it. That is fine.
Oh yeah, you
fine.
pay for it though. You're not gonna
3 days or at least 2
3
of the days. I'll pay for one of the dresses maybe.
Yeah, like a normal wedding, but 3 days with alterations and 3 different hairstyles, and you won't let someone cut their hair if they want to?
Oh,
What if her hair was already like that? First of all,
out of your mind.
Unfortunately, starting in March, my hair started to deteriorate due to health reasons. Okay, so this goes even deeper. Due to health reasons, my hair was falling out in chunks, and in May, I made the difficult decision to cut my hair. I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding, and she didn't say anything bad. The following week, she came over to my house, and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut. And I told her it would look good, even though I wouldn't be uniform with the other bridesmaids. The following day, I received this message.
Ugh.
After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries.
No. No.
Oh my God.
No.
I'd like to remind you of
Not
my boundaries.
saying the word boundaries as like, okay. Sorry.
I've been very accommodating and graceful, but I can't allow you to disrespect me.
Ooh.
As you know, my wedding has been something I've dreamt of for many years. Husband and I have invested a lot of money to, oh, that was, I didn't want to say the word.
The name.
I was like, she really wrote husband? Okay. Didn't want to say the name. Husband and I have invested a lot of money to the, into the video and photos of this day. And as we reflect on this day in the future, we want to see our vision reflected in the memories. Since I asked each of you to be bridesmaids in 2019, I have been very clearly and very communicative in my request. The timing of your decision to cut your hair and not wait, there's some typos in here, and not something in advance is very upsetting to me. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior to the wedding, so we could have worked together to find a collaborative solution.
Sorry.
Sorry, you're a bitch. Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you or anyone else. When you have informed me in advance, when you have informed me in advance, and we could have found a better solution. Since this something you can no longer fully commit to, I need you to please step down from participating in my wedding.
Step down.
Since this is something you can no longer commit, why am I your bridesmaid?
Exactly.
That's what I want to ask that girl. Why am I your bridesmaid? Is it because I can pull off the hairstyle you want in your photos, or is it because I'm your friend?
Exactly. This is what and at my wedding, I even felt bad even giving I had a 9-color palette that my bridesmaids
That's so many.
could choose from. And literally they can do a suit. They could have done a jumpsuit or a dress.
So
and
much
there
freedom.
was a jumpsuit and there was dresses. And the only thing was just try not to pick the same color.
Right.
That was it. I don't know. I don't want to fucking shit on the brides that had their bridesmaids super cohesive, but I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. I just feel like it's kind of creepy. I just feel like you're making them into your little dolls, and you just want them to look so uniform behind you and lick your asshole and taint every step of the way and next to you. It's just
it's weird, and it's also
there's something creepy about it.
And there's also something, and this depends on the bride, but that concept is very kind of catty to me in a way where, because there's that stereotypical ugly bridesmaid's dress, which is just the stereotype of it, where, the bride wants her bridesmaids to not outshine her. Now, I have been in multiple best friends' weddings, and I have never had that be the case. That's usually, with good people, that's not the case. But it tends to be a thing of you already don't have a lot of freedom unless the bride, that's a lot of freedom of choice. Because ultimately, I would think if these are my best friends standing beside me on my important day, I want them to feel good as well. I want them to feel pretty. They're in front of a bunch of people. Yeah, it's not their wedding. I want them to feel sexy and pretty, whatever they want to feel, cute, whatever they want to feel. I want them to feel that way so that they can enjoy the day too, because that's what is that not the point?
Yeah.
Also, there's more to this.
I don't get someone having a different haircut is not going to ruin your pictures, and only because you're being weird that everyone has to look exactly the same anyway. So it's that's the only weirdness out of it. So you're going to have dope pictures of your girlfriends, the people you love the most, or guy friends. I had
but she's prioritizing
and that's also another thing too. Guys, you can have men in your fucking bridal party too. That also breaks up the monotony of the dolls you want to have behind you. You're gonna look dope because you have a diverse friend group and not a psychopath that probably still has Beanie Babies
And you're just assuming that like
In a
you're
guest
assuming
room.
that like, assuming that
Creepy.
the closest people to the bride are all women and the closest people to the groom are all men. But we're diverging a little. There's a little more to
There's
this.
so many
and
things. There's the wedding
says,
industry.
says this was 3 days. So the bride sent this text. This was 3 days before the wedding. I immediately sent her and her husband an invoice asking them to reimburse for the dresses and shoes. Yes, $700.
Oh my
Keeping
God.
in mind that one of the dresses is still in her possession, even though I paid for it.
Ooh.
Neither of them replied, so I decided to take it to court. Good for you.
Good.
Good for you. She
fuck that
said,
shit.
I was told I was inconsistent and selfish after I spent the past 2 weeks helping her plan the wedding shower. I worked with another bridesmaid to surprise her with a bridal shower. After our bachelorette trip had to be canceled, I spent hours helping her with wedding details. When she asked me to help her tone up before the wedding, I sent her a personalized workout program and even went with her to the gym to show her the ropes. When I agreed to be her bridesmaid, I was more than willing to oblige with what she had asked, even if at times it was a lot of time and money. So am I the asshole for taking her to court because she kicked me out for cutting my hair? We're not even going into the fact that she had to cut her hair for health reasons.
The nerve. And I
Like-
also I didn't have my bridesmaids do anything but plan a 1-day bachelorette in Vegas. And I did it the week of my wedding because they live out of state. And I didn't want them to fly twice. Just get it done. So it was fucking crazy for me because I had my bachelorette the week of my wedding. So it was in Vegas.
Oh God.
And it was just high anxiety. But other than that, I planned everything. You know what I mean? Like with Ryan's help too. But I felt weird asking it really, even the bachelorette, I was just like, it was just a lot. I didn't want them to help me with the wedding at all. The bachelorette is fine. I didn't even have a shower. You guys surprised me with a little
that was
bridal
fun.
luncheon. That was so fun.
The tea party.
Yeah. But it's just so it's your wedding.
You're right.
Why are you making people?
Also,
it's one thing little things in here and there. Of course, they're your friends. They'll probably help you. But still.
What's going on with a 3-day wedding?
A 3-day, get over yourselves. You're going to divorce in a year anyway.
Fucking over yourself. Yeah, they're already trying to cover up some issues, clearly.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen so many 3-day wedding bullshit, Wait,
really? This is a thing?
Oh, this is a thing. I've never heard. I feel bad even having people go to my fucking wedding. When I went to I just feel like, I don't
3
know.
days?
You're going to divorce anyway, and I'm married, and I get it.
But what does that mean? What does a 3-day wedding mean? The wedding only happens in one ceremony, so what is happening?
Activities or multiple ceremonies, and I don't want to shit on religious
ceremonies.
So there may be religious ceremonies that last multiple days, and I don't want to shit on those. But
if it's a cultural thing, but this doesn't
if it's a
sound
cultural
like
thing, but this doesn't sound like a cultural thing. I feel like that would have been said, but I could be wrong. But still, this doesn't sound like a cultural thing. And I'm sorry. You're gonna divorce. You're probably gonna divorce. Seeing how controlling you are,
and really above all,
you're gonna divorce.
You're willing to. I'm assuming she's one of your closest friends if you asked her to be a bridesmaid. So you're willing to cut one of your closest friends out of your wedding and all your photos and videos of your big day and your important moment that you've been dreaming about for so long. You're willing to cut one of your best friends out of that because of hair. And she's losing clumps of fucking hair. And she even said it was a hard decision to make to cut her hair. We could go on and on this one. This is
you're disgusting. And when she had said come up with a collaborative solution. I'm sorry. What? Since when is my hair in my life something that you have to collaborate on for your bullshit 3-day extravaganza of again, you're most likely you're going to divorce anyway.
I love that she took her to court. I love that.
Yes. Fuck that friendship. And I hope the bridesmaids took her side. The other friend group, whatever. Okay. So here's a new one. Am I the asshole for serving my sister's husband dinner using toy utensils? Okay.
Right.
I, male 17, interesting, moved in with you, sister. Is this
what?
Huh?
Is he
After my parents kicked me out for coming out. Oh, God, another
Oh.
story. They said I'll be here temporarily till I get back to normal, which I don't think I will, LOL. But, anyways, so I moved in with my sister and her husband about a month ago. FY, she does everything around the house. I started helping here and there, as well as look after a 2-year-old niece. And now she's 6 months pregnant. Brother-in-law does nothing because he's the breadwinner, as he claims. But in my opinion, he's taken it a bit too far. He'd tell her to start his laundry once he takes off his clothes, put dinner on the table once he's home, and get the shower ready, and so on.
Get the shower ready?
They fight a lot because my sister is exhausted and burnt out. I usually put my headphones on and mind my own business, but 2 nights ago, there was a lot of commotion. Once hard home, whatever. So many typos. So I went to see what the issue was. Turns out brother-in-law was complaining about dinner and my sister was too exhausted to get up. I mean, the dinner was already cooked, but he wanted her to put it for him on the table.
What?
I told my sister I'd do it, but instead of using their kitchen utensils, I used my niece's toy utensils like toy cup, toy plate, toy fork, and knife and tiny napkin. I put the food on the toy plate and the drink in the toy cup while brother-in-law was in the shower. He came into the kitchen and sat down and stared at the plate for a few seconds and then looked at me and asked what the hell this was and whether I was joking. I told him if he want to act like a helpless child, then he might as well get treated like one. He began yelling at my sister and my sister came inside. He then threw the napkin and stormed off upon saying that I disrespected him and that he'll let my parents know what I did. My sister saw what I'd done and started laughing. I went inside my room, but the argument didn't stop and now he's expecting an apology from me for meddling in his marriage and pulling this crappy stunt on him. I could be the asshole for this, but I was just so mad for my sister and also sick and tired of being sick and tired of the nightly fighting over dinner.
He's not the asshole.
He's not the asshole, but this is interesting. There might be, I mean, he's 17. It's not like he's like a full grown adult and he was also kicked out for coming out. So it's like, he also doesn't, it's not like he's this like 30 something bum that's like slumming it. You know what I mean? Like and not pulling his weight.
This husband seems like a complete misogynistic, entitled asshole. The dinner was already made and cooked and she's exhausted and he's like, why isn't it on the table? Put it on the table. You deserve this shit.
She's 6, mind you, she's 6 months pregnant.
Yes.
She's not, and she already has a 2-year-old and her little brother who got kicked out of the house that she's helping out with.
He has got to go.
So I'm glad. I'm trying to think. I'm like maybe the guy is stressed out for having to take care of a teenager he didn't sign up for. But it sounds like if the brother wasn't there, he would still be a maniacal freak.
Yes, and the fact
dinner
that he's
hot on the table immediately.
The fact that he's like, you meddled in my marriage when this was actually just between. I got your food ready and admitted to it. I did this to you.
No,
so the fact he's already blaming, he's already taken it out on his wife too. This guy's a dick. He's got
I mean, I really feel for you. Hopefully you can find a new situation and hopefully I mean, your sister's 6 months pregnant. Like, I don't know. It sounds like she needs to get the fuck out of there.
I know.
I bet. And that's probably him on his best behavior. I'm actually worried for when they don't have someone else there to witness it.
I know.
Like.
That's what makes me nervous. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law I want to fuck her son? Shouldn't she know? She's your
interested
mother-in-law.
to see where this goes because why do I feel like I'm going to be on her side?
I feel like I will too. But also, like, if I'm married to your son, it's common knowledge that I want to fuck your son. Yeah. Okay. So my 28.
So she's 28, female. Yeah.
Oh, okay. She's a 20-year-old female. Her husband is 31. So my husband had to spend 2 months in a different state for work. He came back 9 days ago. I'm obviously thrilled he's back and I've missed him a lot. I was hoping we would be able to spend some time together, just the two of us. However, his mom, 56, came over when he was supposed to come home. I was slightly annoyed, but I know she was just as excited for her son to be back. However, she never left. Like, I was prepared to deal with her being there for a day or two, but not 9 days. Because she's been here for 9 days and we haven't had a second of time together, she insists on staying here instead of a hotel. For the record, she lives an hour away. The guest room is right next to ours and the walls are thin. When the two of us go out, she comes with us or makes one of us stay with her because otherwise we would be, quote, bad hosts.
Oh no.
She follows us around the house constantly. We want to cuddle and watch movies. She's sitting in the armchair. We want to go to a romantic restaurant. Better make that a table for three. We have even left her in the living room to go chat in our room, and she follows us.
Oh no.
Earlier today, I just asked her to leave, even though both of us have been hinting that she needs to go. She kept saying she wasn't ready to go yet and wanted more time with her son. I tried telling her, listen, I think she might want to fuck her son. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
I tried telling her we wanted some alone time, and she kept insisting that she join us. Finally, I snapped and said, since you seem to be oblivious, I will put this bluntly. I want to fuck your son. If you if you don't want to see or hear, then you need to leave. This isn't that she said, I know this isn't the classiest response ever, but I was frustrated. Anyway, she yelled at me, but eventually left. We finally got to have our alone time, but now she is blowing up both of our phones. She is saying that I am disgusting and have no respect for her or her son or myself. She keeps telling my husband that he shouldn't be with someone so crude, and how dare he let me speak to her like that. I'm sure you get the idea. I know what I said was really inappropriate. So am I the asshole? And then she did an edit. After reading these comments, okay, so we didn't read the comments, but should I read this after?
Well, there's no comments, but basically it sounds like she said that
well, yeah, I just meant like, should we give our, but okay. So she read comments that people said. And then she said, after reading these comments, I will definitely let my husband know he needs to step up. I agree that it should have been him who made her leave. I agree with that. I love him to death and want to be accommodating to his fear of making her angry. She's nasty when she's angry and will turn his whole family against him. However, he needs to set boundaries. So that sounds like that's the advice she was given in the comments. And I agree with all of that.
I absolutely agree. The fact that you had to get to that point where you snapped at her.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, I can't even imagine, like you work and live in different states. That is so hard.
For 9 months, I think she said.
That is so unbelievably hard. 2 months in a different state. He came back 9 days ago, but it's the 9 days that the mother-in-law is just there. I just feel like
is creepy. That's really creepy that when they're in their living room watching TV and that they say as a couple, we're going to go chat in the other room, and she follows them. Like she has some weird possessiveness over her son that is creepy to me.
Yeah. And I just feel like he needs to understand that it's okay if she's not in your life at all. Because the fact that in the edit, she said she's nasty when she's angry and will turn his whole family against him. Like, what the fuck?
That's so manipulative.
Goodbye. You don't need that. Like, goodbye. It's normalize cutting off ties to toxic family members.
Yes. Okay. Amen. Amen.
It is okay. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter to get over herself? Okay.
I've been told that.
I was blessed with 3 beautiful children. Unfortunately, my eldest, Brooke, passed away when she was 5 years old. It rocked my world, and I know I haven't been the same since. I went through therapy and still attend to this day, but a part of me died too. I will never let my daughter be forgotten. I bring pictures of her to events such as holiday celebrations and birthdays. I talk about her all the time. Every year on my living children's birthdays, I think of her and how her once younger siblings are now older than her. My daughter Marnie is getting married next month. I asked her if she was having a memorial table, and she said no. I asked her about creating a seat for her sister who passed, and she should be a part of the day. Marnie told me no. For once, she wants a day about her. She said she couldn't have one event that wasn't about Brooke. Even her graduation, I put a picture of her on the seat. She said I needed to stop making my grief front stage.
Oh, yeah.
I told her she was being incredibly selfish until she goes through a loss like this. She'll never understand. Marnie asked if her kids would have to live under the shadow of Brooke too. I told her she should be ashamed and get over herself. My son says I'm being terrible. I need to reevaluate my life. Am I the asshole? I mean, I don't know if I'd call you an asshole, but you're not right.
Right. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't, obviously it's not an asshole because you're not coming from a malicious place and you're coming from grief and pain, but the daughter is correct in what she's saying. And if she used those words and felt like she's been living under her sister's shadow her whole life, and if she would even say, for once I want to be like, it's her wedding and she's for once I want a day about me, then she clearly has deep seated. She has felt
Yeah.
for every birthday or event or special thing that it hasn't really been about her. And actually that languaging about, she told me I need to stop making my grief front stage sounds like therapy. It sounds like maybe her daughter's been in therapy and talking about this. And that's like, cause that's the language that's used. That's
Yep.
accurate language. That's good. A good way to communicate that. But I empathize with both of them. But
the mother's in therapy. She's like, I went through therapy and still attend to this day. Like, what is your therapist? Like, there's no way your therapist is like,
right.
yeah, your daughter's an asshole. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way your therapist is saying that.
The fact that her son also is on his sister's side means that that's a shared experience that the siblings must have.
I mean, this is
sad.
hard. And like to say that until she goes through a loss like this, yes, I mean, losing a child is way different.
Yeah.
But she did go through a loss. She did go through a loss.
That's a good point.
I mean, well, they were younger actually, because she was 5 years old when she passed and everyone else was younger. So they might not have remembered her.
Which could even be, but that could even make it harder when your whole life, your mom is like bringing up this person that you actually didn't even get to know. So then you feel like more detached from it, and it could be more frustrating. That's hard.
It's one thing if you were raised with this person, like you might feel more inclined to maybe share, but like it depends. Like it just sounds like I can't trust the narrator here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds very one-sided as far as like,
right.
You know, not painting the full picture of how much you've made that grief so blatant. Yeah.
Am I the asshole for singing a song to my wife at our wedding and making her angry? I just got married last week. My wife and I are both in our 30s. I'm Mexican and she's American, but we both grew up in the US and both of our families know both languages. My wife planned every bit of the wedding and was a very controlling and nervous bride, but all right, I get that she was stressed. During the reception, I went to the band and asked them to play a song for me to sing to my new wife. It was Te Amare by Miguel Bose. It was a song from our first date in a really bad Mexican restaurant, so it became a long-standing joke between us. The guests really loved the song, and my mother-in-law cried and told me it was beautiful, but my bride seemed upset. I asked her what's wrong, and she said, I am an asshole for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Whoa. She was
Who
mad.
says the words enforcing your ethnicity?
That is a massive fucking red flag. She's mad that he didn't request their song be played by the band, that he did it more personally and sang it to her because he's enforcing his ethnicity.
And her own mother was like crying and like loving it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
divorce this woman.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's some racist shit. I'm sorry.
Super racist shit. But like both our families know both languages. Why does her family know Spanish?
That's why he's setting the scene.
Because maybe they know the song. Like it's not like
right.
Her family
and also,
doesn't know the lyrics to the song, which still, who cares?
Yeah.
Even if they didn't know the lyrics, like it's a song. Like,
but she wasn't mad about the language because she said, "Why didn't you have the band just sing it?" She's mad that he sang it
and taking the spotlight. What? It's his wedding too.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but there's a PSA that needs to go out to brides. The wedding is also your husband's day.
I know. You get like, I don't know what it is. Like, there are brides that get fucking psycho.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it has to be like privilege, obviously. There's a fucking disconnect. There is a privilege there. And there is some unpacked, unseated trauma where you did not get enough love as a child.
Exactly. There's deep insecurities that are coming out.
And you're thinking this is the one day that everyone can validate you.
And not validate your marriage or your relationship, but you.
So you better spend $800 to be there for me.
for
Oh,
3
please.
days and don't cut your hair.
Horrible.
Oh my God.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my new coworker it was misleading for him to be wearing his wedding band when he's a widower?
I think so.
Oh. Hi, a couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James, 36. And to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. Oh, God.
Aw.
Me, female 32, and the other coworkers get along well with him. However, I noticed that he's still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me for a bit. I want to cry, but I couldn't help
know.
but bring it up with him on lunch break. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a
Oh
widower.
my God.
Oh my God. He looked quite bothered by what I said,
8
but I tried
months
to
ago.
even if it was longer, like, okay.
Oh my God.
Giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status since he's technically single and on his own right now. But I don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle. There's no technicality. Like James
A
said that
technical angle when somebody loses their wife is cruel.
James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he didn't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's not interested. For some reason, things got awkward for some reason, and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him I don't know, but that really felt generally misleading of him, as in making people think he's in a relationship, married, when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory.
Yes.
And with what I said, then took his stuff and walked away. My coworkers said, regardless of who is right or wrong, though some said he overreacted, there was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us like that. Now he's not speaking to me and others who sided with me. Am I the asshole, or did he overreact? This was just a conversation we were casually having with the other coworkers, and I didn't use any insensitive tones or anything, but we had a discussion and it suddenly turned into an argument. I tried to let things calm down, but the situation got out of hand unexpectedly. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, because he's recently grieving and you're going to have triggers.
Yeah, and also you're mad because he's misleading, meaning everybody should know that you're single. And then he says, even if I weren't wearing it, I'm not open to being in a relationship. And she's still mad. She's mad about the signaling. So
Yeah.
if I take my ring off, I'm signaling that I am single, but I'm actually not closed, but I actually am closed off to being in a relationship. So is that not misleading? If I take my ring off,
Right,
people think I'm single, and then I'm not actually wanting to be in a relationship. That's misleading. And why are you concerned about someone misleading you when he's fucking grieving?
I know people that like are married and like they don't like to wear wedding rings at all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, unless unless in your marriage with both of you, you've stated like, please wear your wedding ring and it means something to me, and they don't, then like maybe there can be a red flag there. But other than that, like,
there's like, you can't.
I don't know. Like,
put
there's
a
no like
timeline.
technical thing. Like, everybody has their own
Yes.
thing when it comes to wedding rings. Like, it is
I-
not serious and there's no rules. Get the fuck off of him. It sounds like you want to fuck him.
Yeah, I
Sounds like you
dated
want to
a
fuck
guy.
him.
I dated a guy. So on our first date, we had dinner. We went out to dinner, had a great time, and he worked at the gym that I went to. And so then the next day, I saw him at the gym, and I noticed he was wearing a wedding ring, and I was like, okay, I know that was not on his finger last night at dinner. What? So that after the gym that day, I went over to his place and he was making dinner for me. And I was like, so, this is like our second date. And I was like, so you're wearing a wedding ring? Like, what? And he opened it. He's like, oh, I wear it at work. I'm in the middle of going through a divorce. They've been separated for a long time. And like, I ended up having a great relationship with him, and he's an incredible guy. But I say that because it's like, you cannot make assumptions about people. That is a symbol, yes, and you use it for certain things. But when people make personal decisions, and he was like, I'm wearing it at work still because he's a personal trainer. He's like, I don't want my coworkers and clients you're very close and personal with those people. It's not like I'm in a cubicle. He's like, I talk
Yeah.
life with all these people every day, and I'm going through the divorce, and I don't want to have this discussion with everybody in my life right now until it's
Yeah.
like figured out. Understandable. And like I
Yeah,
said,
it
I
is
know
such
him
a
now.
gray
I've known
area.
him like almost a decade now. I know him to be a good person. So you cannot like put those, oh, well, you should be. Like if you were to take it off and like, if you were to take it off and then be walking around and then like we went on our first date and then I find out the next day, like, oh, you're actually going through divorce. You're wearing a wedding. Is that not misleading? Like,
Mm.
yeah, it's just so weird. You can't do that to people.
It's such a gray area
Yeah.
when the two parties are alive.
Yes.
Like it's going to be the grayest of area when one of the spouses passes. Like that is unbelievable. You're not
Wow.
prepared for that, and you're just going to judge
Mm-mm.
someone for working through their grief the way they want to. Like
And saying you're coming from a technical place, suck
there is
my dick.
that means nothing. You're just saying noise. Again, I think they want to fuck that guy, and they
Yeah,
just
for
wanna-
sure.
And I feel like because he got defensive, she got defensive.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like no,
Yeah.
because there's something behind that, babe. You just want to fuck him and make sure that he
Yes.
can move on.
Exactly. Am I the asshole? Wait, this is mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the asshole? My boyfriend
Wait.
my boyfriend places sheets on all of the furniture when I'm on my period. Okay. So this is a 24-year-old woman and her boyfriend is 28.
Wait.
She says, so my boyfriend is really protective over his furniture. I assume it's because they're white. Okay, fair. This really shows when I'm on my period. My boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges. I feel like if I were to leak, I'd just leak through the sheets anyway. And he makes
Yeah.
me sleep. Oh my God. He makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period. My
Are you
heaviest
out of your
days.
mind?
And then he even asks me about when was the last time I changed my tampon. No. I'm a grown woman who has had her period since the age 12. I don't need somebody to remind me to change a tampon. Definitely not a man. When he does this, I just feel embarrassed, and it gives me the vibe that he cares more about materialistic objects than me. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. Hell no. He acts like I'm just gushing like a waterfall or something. I started my period yesterday, and as expected, the sheets come out. I decided to put my foot down, and I take off all the sheets from the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him that he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box.
Mhm.
He's saying that I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean, and that I'm the one acting like a jerk. I need to know, am I the asshole?
No, you need
No.
to literally cut his balls off
He is the
and
asshole.
have him bleed on his white couch. I'm
Here's the
advocating
thing.
for violence.
I think really what it is, okay, you have white furniture. Yeah, blood is hard to get out. Understandable. If your girlfriend is on her period and you're concerned about your white furniture, that's a conversation. And then you don't immediately cover the house and request she sleep in another bed, tell her to change her tampon. Fuck that. That's a conversation where it's like, maybe if you're sitting on the couch together, you lay a blanket down, or she's like, don't worry, I just put a tampon in, or I have these sweats on. That's like between you two, but you don't turn the house into like you're kid proofing the apartment, basically.
Yeah.
Like
I
making
even
her
think worrying about the couch at all is a red flag. I just really think it is. I feel like
I would worry about my own couch if it was white and I'm on my period. So I understand that.
I don't know. Yes, as a woman and like your own things, but I don't know. I just feel like you're weird.
Well,
you're
that's
weird.
why I think no. Well, okay. So this is what I think it's all of this is red flags and he's the asshole. But a man being grossed out by a period is not okay. I think that's fucked up. A man being like, I don't want blood stains on my white couch, because you cannot want that and not be grossed out by a period. Want to cuddle and not be grossed out by getting blood on you. It's fucking hard. If your couches are expensive, like I'm an interior design nerd, I wouldn't want him to be like, don't sit on the couch. But I would understand if he's concerned about getting blood on a white couch. That is different from being grossed out by periods, from not wanting to touch you and be around you. Like that's that crosses the line to me of being like, fuck all men versus no. There are some things that are, if men had a thing that's like basic, if men had a period or where they're bleeding out their butt and we don't know what that's like, and I have a boyfriend over and I have an expensive ass white couch, if it's one thing if I'm like, don't sit down, don't touch me, can you sleep over there tonight, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm like, hey, can we lay a blanket down because it's a nice couch? That's fair, I think.
I don't know. I think I disagree. I think this woman is how old? 24, 12 years of a period, and you're going to assume that she's like leaking everywhere.
That's not okay. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference.
Unless she's done it before, unless you know that she is a leaker, I feel like you're just going to have to leave it up for there. I feel like getting anal about your furniture until you see that she's a leaker, until that you've seen that she can't.
That's what I mean. The concept of being concerned about your furniture. I agree with what you're saying. So I think there's like, maybe I didn't articulate it. Like the concept of being concerned about blood getting on your white couch is totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that she can't handle her own period, doesn't know when to change her tampon, maybe she's probably going to leak on my couch. None of that is okay. So I'm just making a distinction between like the concept of being concerned about your furniture is fine. But assuming she can't handle it and she's going to bleed everywhere and she's leaking and she's can't take care of herself.
Being concerned to a degree because it's expensive makes sense.
It stops there.
Yeah, you can't be psycho and like you're treating her like a fucking object at this point.
Because he's insinuating that she, like she said, that she can't handle herself, that she doesn't know when to change a tampon or how. None of that is okay. I don't condone any of that. What are your priorities?
And like, do you know women at all? Like, putting sheets on everything. Did you live with a woman? Like, what is the relationship with his mother?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is therapy. Okay. Am I the asshole for mentioning my best friend's former crush on me in a speech at his wedding?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, I'm currently in a predicament, and frankly, I could use some opinions. For backstory, I, female 27, met one of my best friends, Christian, male 26, back in 2010 during our freshman year of high school. We became friends and remained close over the years since making a lot of great memories and sharing mutual close friends. From 2013 to 2016, Christian had a pretty serious unrequited feelings for me. However, he eventually got over me, and I had never let his feelings harm our friendship. If anything, our friendship honestly got closer after he got over me. In early 2018, he met Victoria, female 29, at a bar, and they hit it off. They started dating after 2 weeks and got engaged in late 2021, and the wedding happened yesterday night. It was honestly a great time as I watched with my parents and mutual friends as this kid I've known for 12 years was getting married to the love of his life. Plus, Victoria and I honestly had a pretty decent relationship, and according to Christian, she didn't really seemed to care about his past feelings as time went on. Anyway, as the night kept going on with a lot of music and dancing, I got up to eventually give a speech for Christian. I talked about how we first met, how much our lives changed since then, and how great of a person Christian was. The attendees were clearly very touched, and Christian and Victoria both looked happy. As I talked more about our history, I jokingly mentioned how Christian had the hots for me, but that didn't matter because he found his soulmate and that our friendship was stronger than some unrequited feelings. Most of the crowd laughed, and I could even see Christian smiling for a second before seeing Victoria's confused face. After the speech was over, I went over to the bar with a few friends. Christian came up and hugged me, thanking me for the speech. However, at our hotel, one of our best friends, Devin, female 27, told me she had heard gossip from the bridesmaids that Victoria was upset with me for bringing up Christian's previous feelings for me at the wedding. Apparently, Victoria genuinely had no issue with Christian's feelings, but felt it was inappropriate to mention them at the wedding. I sincerely intended no harm with my actions. Maybe I didn't read the room. Everyone I told is honestly split on whether I'm the bad guy or not, so it's definitely been polarizing. Christian hasn't mentioned any of this to me, but I'm not sure I should even ask him. I think... Yeah, you're the asshole. And like, there's a thing, intention versus impact. You could have thought it was funny in the moment, and then you realize it hurts someone that's close. Someone that's close to someone close with you. You know what I mean? That someone's important to one of your best friends that hurt them. Own it, apologize, and maybe they can move on. I feel like there's a lot of weird dynamics here. And I feel like this is a rule of thumb. Unless you guys have laughed about it in your own friendship, like,
Yep.
Don't bring it up. Oh, that's the only,
Well,
and I still say don't bring it up. It's not,
I say don't bring it. I'm like, what is,
yeah,
because there's no purpose to a story she was telling or whatever where that information need to be said, which makes it seem self-gratifying. Like, I'm just putting this in there to let people know that he used to like me. That's how it comes across if there's no other point to that information being interjected. You could talk
yeah,
about, like she said, her friendship and how they've known each other for so long and now he's with the love of his life, blah, blah, blah. You inserting that he used to have feelings for you adds nothing to your story. So then it
it
is just
doesn't.
self
Like,
serving.
yeah, it is. You just want to kind of look. I
Yeah.
mean, unless you made a really funny, clever joke about it, which I doubt you
Right.
did. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if there was like a really, I don't know. Again, unless it, and how, I wonder, wait, how long ago was it between 2013 and 2016?
It's like 4 or 5 years after.
I mean, time has passed, but still, that was a long time for him to have those feelings. And
Well,
I don't even
and
know. It wasn't even clear that she knew about the feelings. Maybe she had just found out at the wedding. Again, like
I
unless
think
you
she implied
know.
that she had known and she never like over time it didn't bother her. I think that's what she had said, but
Oh, 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 oh.
even the bride saying like it's not the fact that he had feelings for her that bothered me, it's that why would she bring that up at my wedding? And she's correct.
Yeah. And also, what is Christian's just happy and hugging him? Like, Christian also
Right.
seems like kind of like, I think an issue as well. Like,
Yeah.
he should have been vocal with her about how inappropriate that
Yeah.
was. Like, what the
If he
fuck?
knew that his wife was unhappy, yeah, that's weird.
All right. The last one.
Okay. Um, am
The
I the
doozy.
asshole for spoiling my best friend's proposal? Probably. um,
Oh,
so this girl is 27 years old. I am getting married to my fiance, 27 years old, in a little under 3 weeks. Everything has been going amazing with the planning, and I'm ecstatic for the day. My best friend, Cassie, whom I've been friends with since we were 10 years old, is my maid of honor. She's truly one of the sweetest people I've ever met, blah, 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 stuck with me through everything. She's been the biggest help in planning this whole ordeal, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. However, I've never been the biggest fan of her girlfriend, Sophie. I always show her respect and try to include her in things, but she's a huge introvert, and sometimes it can come off as disrespect in return. Cassie's own words, actually. But they
oh,
always seem to be very happy together, so I hope she warms up to me uh, a little in time. They've only been together over a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. Several days ago, Sophie approached me asking if I'd be okay if she proposed during my reception.
wait,
Why would you do that?
what?
So her friend, because I misinterpreted this as when she said girlfriend, I thought it was just her friend's friend, but it's her friend's actual
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
girlfriend. Yeah. But why would you
During
want to
your
propose
reception, you
at
fucking
someone's
psycho?
reception? Okay, so Sophie approached, asked if she could propose during my reception. She claimed it would be a great way for Cassie and I to bond more, having our weddings linked and all of that. Not that we needed
What?
any more time to bond. She's already my other half. I love Cassie to death, but I'd never allow that for anyone. I shut the idea down immediately, and Sophie got all pissy with me and left. She said something along the lines of, I don't need your permission anyway, and walked out the door. This made me fearful that she would attempt it anyway, so I went to Cassie. Needless to say, Cassie was mad. I
Oh,
never really see her get angry, but she was livid. She apologized profusely and said she couldn't believe Sophie would ever think of doing something like that.
okay.
And that was the end of our conversation. However, 2 days ago, I got another call from Sophie berating me for spoiling her plan to propose. And I was informed that Cassie would be attending the wedding by herself and
Oh,
Sophie is currently not speaking to her.
oh
I was
shit.
concerned that that wasn't the entire story, so I called Cassie. She was a mess. She said she was staying with her parents right now and disinvited Sophie as her plus one because she was scared Sophie would have proposed anyway, given the chance, and she didn't want to ruin my wedding. Oh, I told her to come stay with me for a while instead, and she showed up several hours later, still a complete mess. She said that she and Sophie had a huge fight and that she was reconsidering whether or not she wanted to stay in this relationship. According to Cassie, these huge fights are a common occurrence. I feel awful for ruining her proposal and potentially ruining her relationship. Cassie has been picking herself up in front of me and continuing to be great with the last minute to-dos, but I've caught her crying while I'm not around. I love her and I don't want her to resent me for this, so I need to know, am I the asshole? And is there anything I can do to fix this? And then there's
No.
You're not the asshole. No.
I mean, like, oh, go ahead.
Well, there's an edit. I went to Cassie with all of your comments and she broke down. We had a long moment and where Cassie finally told me how Sophie really treated her. She hadn't
Oh.
previously told me this because she didn't want people to hate her girlfriend. I won't share details for Cassie's privacy, but needless to say, I no longer respect Sophie.
Ooh.
I held her hand and she called Sophie to finally end things. Cassie will be staying with me for a few weeks while we get her things from their shared apartment and find her a new place to stay. I've even asked her to house sit during our honeymoon. More for her benefit than mine, but I won't share that bit with her. As many of you have said, and I know I'm incredibly lucky to have Cassie in my life, and I'm so glad to be helping her into a new chapter of her life. We will be going out for dinner and drinks tomorrow with my fiance and a couple mutual friends. On me, of course, as a huge thank you for everything she's done. Thank you for all your kind comments. We'll be sure next time to find Cassie a partner as sweet as she is.
Oh my God. I mean, like,
Fuck Sophie.
The audacity.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can tell, like, if you're going to go to your girlfriend's best friend and being like, yo, I'm going to propose.
Yeah,
during your
what?
reception,
And then
you
be
cool
like,
with it?
it's going to be special to have your weddings linked. And she's like, she's already my other half. Like, we don't need our weddings linked. What?
Yeah, that sounds so manipulative and like
so manipulative.
Yeah, like this is for you guys. I'm doing this for your guys' friendship's sake. Like what?
Ew.
Psych. Oh my God.
That's awful.
Crazy.
That is ridiculous. Wow. You know, every time we do an episode of this, Am I the Asshole? What?
I'm glad they broke up.
Oh yeah. Every time we do one of these and read all these, I'm like, okay, things aren't so unhinged for me right now.
I know. Like there are people go through crazy
oh
shit.
my God.
And also people think are insane and they come on these threads and they think that they're like legitimate. And it's like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
You're psycho. I can't.
Actually insane. And then this is weird, but do you ever think about like the amount of crazy people, the amount of like psychosis in these people's minds? They have driver's licenses.
Yeah.
They're out there on the road.
Why
do we allow everybody to just...
They're teaching in your schools and they're at they're dealing with your money at the bank.
Yes.
And they're whatever.
They're probably giving you advice on YouTube or some shit. They probably have their own podcast.
So basically the moral of the story of Am I the Asshole is don't trust anybody.
Don't trust anyone. Our healthy mental health awareness messages, don't trust anyone.
Stay paranoid, friends. Oh, anyway, well, we love you guys. And please subscribe to us on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. We're there. Rate and review us. It helps us reach more people. And we're on Instagram at the SOS Pod. And we are also on Patreon. So please sign up for good goodies and good merch, exclusive content, the chance to change our topics or pick our topics rather. Yeah, come on, guys. Join our community.
Yes. I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alyssa Rosano.
Here's to turning meltdowns
into magic.